Sa episode na ito, hindi lang tungkol sa kasikatan ng isang pop princess ang pag-uusapan natin. Hindi lang ito tungkol sa awards, hit songs at sold-out arenas. Tungkol ito sa kontrol, sa sapilitang pananahimik at sa pagkawala ng sariling boses sa gitna ng napakaingay at napakasalimuot na mundo. We're talking about The Woman in Me by Britney Spears. Alam mo, growing up, we all thought we knew her. The pop princess, the blonde hair, the breakdown, the headlines. But what if everything we thought we knew was just the version the world was allowed to see? This memoir isn't chismis. It's not revenge. It's reclamation. It's about what happened when a woman becomes a global superstar before she even became an adult. And she has to spend more than a decade fighting for something most of us just take for granted, her own voice. And if you've ever felt misunderstood, if you've ever felt controlled by expectations, if you've ever smiled in public while silently breaking in private, this one might hit differently. So today, let's talk about fame, family, freedom, and what it really means to rediscover the woman in you. Ako nga pala ulit si Tessa Saavedra. Samahan niyo ako dito lang sa isang pahina, isang kwento, isang aral. Ang sarap pala magbasa. It's Women's Month, and instead of celebrating perfection, let's celebrate survival. As mentioned, today we're talking about The Woman in Me by Britney Spears. Kasi when we say empowered women, we usually imagine someone strong, polished, put together. But what about the woman who broke down publicly? The woman the world mocked? The woman whose pain became entertainment? This memoir isn't just about pop stardom. It's about what happens when a woman's body, money, career, even her own choices are controlled by other people. And she has to fight to get them back. And maybe that's what Women's Month should really remind us. Not that women are flawless, but that women are allowed to fall apart and still rise. And before we dive in, make sure to like this episode, leave your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to my show Ang Sarap Pala Magbasa so you don't miss future deep dives like this. So now, let's get into it. At hindi na nga ako magpapatumpik-tumpik, magproproceed na tayo sa main character ng episode na ito, walang iba kundi si Britney Spears. Reading this book made me nostalgic because I was born in 1989, so I grew up mostly in the 90s. And alam nyo kung katulad nyo ako na lumaki nung 90s, hindi pwedeng hindi nyo makikita o maririnig si Britney Spears sa TV, sa radyo, or makita yung kanyang mukha sa mga magazine, posters, or even billboards. And at ang naaalala ko dito is yung usong-uso dati na song hits. Diba? Palagi siyang laman ng mga song hits kasama ng mga ibang artists na sumikat din nung 90s katulad ni Christina Aguilera. And if you know, dati, di ba, kino-compare talaga palagi si Christina Aguilera and Britney Spears. They both came from the same show, the Mickey Mouse Club. Palaging kino-compare sa kanila is yung kanilang boses, yung kanilang style. Christina has the voice, but Britney has the it factor talaga. Siya yung talagang parang pop star talaga nung time niya, nung era niya. So, how about you? Were you team Christina or team Britney Spears back then? Let me know in the comments. Multi-platinum Grammy Award-winning pop icon Britney Spears is one of the most successful and celebrated entertainers in music history, with more than 100 million records sold worldwide. In 2021, she was named one of Time Magazine's 100 most influential people. Spears' album Blackout was added to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's Library and Archives in 2012. She currently lives in Los Angeles, California. So we now proceed with a synopsis. The Woman in Me is Britney Spears' candid memoir about fame, loss of control, and reclaiming her voice. From the highs of superstardom to the struggles of her conservatorship, Britney shares the untold story of her life, her resilience, and the journey to finding herself again. So basically, the book will revolve around these key points that I'm about to mention next. So the first key point is early life and rise to fame. Britney shares her childhood in Louisiana, where music and performance were an early refuge. She recalls the excitement of auditions, her first roles, and the intense drive that pushed her into the entertainment industry. By her early teens, she was already thrust into the spotlight, performing on television and recording albums. Fame came quickly, and with it, enormous pressure. She was expected to be perfect, constantly performing, and to grow up in public with little guidance or personal space. So dito, nakita ko yung strong emphasis on her southern upbringing, meaning yung pagiging magalang, lalong-lalo na sa nakakatanda. Hindi ka pwedeng sumagot sa mga nakakatanda, kailangan respetuhin mo sila, and yung kanyang pagiging religious. So yun usually yung mga pag-southern upbringing, parang in a way similar siya to Filipino upbringing. Very conservative sila. Dito ko rin nakita yung kanyang hilig sa basketball, and to think she's a pop superstar and she's a good dancer, iisipin mo, siguro baka cheerleader siya noon. Hindi. Mahilig siya sa basketball. She was actually a tomboy growing up. At dito nga, as mentioned, she was already performing and auditioning at a very young age. At dito rin natin makikita kung paano naging paraan ng kanyang career sa pag-unlad ng kanyang pamilya. So up next, fame and public scrutiny. As Britney's star rose, she faced relentless attention from the media. Every outfit, every relationship, every emotional moment was dissected and sensationalized. The 2007 public breakdown became the defining moment in her career, often misrepresented and ridiculed by tabloids. She reflects on the trauma of being treated as public commodity rather than a human being, and the isolation of navigating extreme fame at such a young age. Dito shinare ni Britney yung pagkapikon na niya sa mga paparazzi kasi hindi siya tinatantanan. Ganun naman talaga kapag sikat ka na, pinagkakakitaan ka talaga lalong-lalo na ng media. Gustong-gusto nilang kinukunan yung mga unflattering pictures mo kasi pag media, they usually run on negativism cells. So kapag hindi maganda yung picture mo, yun yung mas nire-release ng media, which is actually unfair for her. Yung kanyang kawalan ng privacy and being caught with someone while on vacation. So tayo, di ba pag nakabakasyon tayo, talagang relax na relax tayo, pero kapag artista ka, that's a totally different story because kahit nasa beach ka, kasama mo yung significant other mo, kunwari, andun yung mga media, yung mga special moments yung sana na kayo lang dalawa, na-expose tuloy sa buong mundo kasi yung mga nakuna nilang picture mo, yun yung nire-release nila sa mga tabloids. And usually, hindi maganda yung headlines nun. So imagine mo, you're famous, you have all the money in the world, and yet yun yung kapalit, yung privacy mo. Number 3, and this is actually yung pinaka-controversial na topic sa librong ito, which is yung kanyang loss of autonomy and conservatorship. The memoir details a 13-year conservatorship that controlled nearly every aspect of her life, from finances to personal decisions. Britney explains how she was forced to perform, monitored constantly, and stripped off of rights most adults take for granted, like driving, managing money, or making personal choices. She emphasizes the emotional and psychological toll of living under strict control and how powerless she felt while still being expected to maintain flawless public image. So dito pinag-usapan niya yung kanyang sapilitang paggamit ng IUD, yung masakit na realidad na ginagamit lang siya ng pamilya niya for financial gain, ay parang feeling niya mas gusto nilang mabaliw na lang siya ng tuluyan para sila na lang ang magkokontrol ng pera at career ni Britney.
Britney had a series of highly publicized mental breakdowns, was involuntarily committed to rehab and psychiatric hospitals. But that is what led her to this state of conservatorship. Okay, so what is it and what is the fight to free Britney from it? Basically, it's enacted by a judge for those incapable of making their own decisions, like the elderly with dementia or those who are seriously unwell. Conservatorship means that Britney suddenly did not and still does not have any control of the $100 million plus that she earns a year, her personal assets and life decisions. Total control is in the hands of Jamie Spears, her father, who is also her allocated lawyer. Jamie Spears, who allegedly physically assaulted Britney's 13-year-old son last year, has authority over Britney's estate, tax forms, professional commitments, tours, health, and life. It's alleged that it also means that she can't drive herself, can't vote, can't hire her own legal representatives, can't spend her money, can't see how her money is being spent, can't contact anyone or use social media without being monitored, and can hardly see her own kids. But the irony and flaw in all of this is that she can work like a horse and make those who are in control of her life consequently very bloody rich. Jamie also allegedly threatened legal action against the person who first published the hashtag Free Britney movement back in 2009. Why so mad, Jamie? Look, some say that this guardianship helped save Britney's life by removing toxic people and situations from her vicinity, and that die-hard fans who fight against it don't quite grasp the seriousness of her mental health.
So I guess itong topic na to is what made the Free Britney movement go further. Kasi talaga naman meron ng hashtag Free Britney before this memoir was released. Pero nung nabasa to talaga ng mga ibang tao rin, ng mga ibang fans ni Britney, talagang nagalit din sila. So hindi nila tinantanan yung media or hindi sila tumigil na mag-post ng hashtag Free Britney online in support of her. Kasi talaga naramdaman ng fans na unfair yung ginagawa sa kanya, lalong-lalo na ng pamilya niya. And number 4, relationships and heartbreak. Britney discusses her personal relationships under intense public scrutiny. She opens up about heartbreaks and betrayals, including her early relationship with Justin Timberlake and how men in her life often had narratives protected by the media while she bore public shame. Despite challenges, she highlights the importance of connection, love, and the pain of being misunderstood or misrepresented in her most intimate relationships. So dito shinare ni Britney yung kanyang naging karanasan doon sa dalawang lalaki na naging malapit sa kanya. Yun nga si Justin Timberlake at yung kanyang ex-husband na si Kevin Federline. Sabi niya, both men knew how to outsmart her and take advantage of their association with her. Pangalawa, ito yung sapilitang pagpapa-abort ng magiging anak sana nila ni Justin Timberlake, which actually really broke my heart. Kasi nalaman ko na talagang gusto pala talagang i-keep ni Britney yung baby. Pero pinilit siya ni Justin Timberlake na i-abort na lang kasi feeling niya they were too young and Justin Timberlake wasn't really ready to be a father yet kasi nagsisimula pa lang sila sa career nila.
Britney Spears says Justin Timberlake got her pregnant, but she had an abortion. Excerpt obtained by People of Britney's upcoming memoir, The Woman in Me, out October 24th. The singer reveals she got pregnant with JT's baby when they dated from 1999 to 2002. Brit says the pregnancy was a surprise, but for her, it wasn't a tragedy. I loved Justin so much. I always expected us to have a family together one day. This would just be much earlier than I'd anticipated.
So hindi ko naman gina-justify naging decision ni Justin Timberlake, pero dito ko nakita na talagang Britney really imagined her life with Justin Timberlake. But Justin kasi had other plans. So after reading this memoir, I don't think I could ever look at Justin Timberlake the same way again. And I actually felt guilty kasi siya yung bias ko sa NSYNC noon. Pero alam mo, ang amazing dito sa memoir na to is si Britney Spears din mismo yung nag-rationalize nung infatuation ko kay Justin Timberlake noon. Kasi nga naman kung meron makakaintindi sa pagkakagusto or pagkakakrush mo kay Justin Timberlake, walang iba kundi si Britney Spears yun. Kasi naging karelasyon niya eh. So parang nagigets niya kung bakit infatuated yung mga babae sa kanya. So for that, magpo-proceed na tayo sa motherhood and personal struggles. Her children are portrayed as her anchor amidst chaos. Britney reflects on custody battles and the deep emotional pain of being separated from her sons. Motherhood became a source of strength and grounding, giving her a sense of purpose and resilience even when other areas of her life were controlled or restricted. So in a way, sinasabi ni Britney dito na yung mga anak niya yung kanya naging saving grace. So sila yung naging inspirasyon niya to not give up dahil nga na kay Kevin Federline yung mga anak niya, hirap na hirap siya in trying to fight for having to have sole custody of the kids. Pero unfortunately, hindi nga yun nangyari because masyadong hina-highlight kasi yung kanyang mga personal struggles or mental struggles kasi noon eh. And also, she also shared how she dealt with postpartum. Kasi nga naman, if you're a mother and or you just had a child, syempre you also have to deal with postpartum depression. Being away from her kids did not help with that. So siguro yun pa yun mas nagpalala lalo nung kanyang mental health, which is yung being away from her kids. Number 6, reclaiming voice and identity. For years, Britney could not speak publicly about her life or experiences. Writing The Woman in Me became a transformative act of reclaiming her story. She reflects on finding herself outside the spotlight, redefining who she is beyond fame and public perception, and taking control over her narrative. This section emphasizes empowerment, personal growth, and the courage to speak truth despite years of enforced silence. So dito nga yung na-highlight yung hashtag Free Britney movement and how her fans found a way to help her regain freedom. Sinasabi niya na napaka-thankful niya sa mga fans niya because sila rin yung tumulong sa kanya to regain her freedom. And taking time to reflect and finding the courage to stand up for herself. So dito, naglakas loob na siyang kumuha ng sarili niyang abogado para tumulong na ipaglaban siya dun sa pamilya niya and also sa media. Number 7, themes and reflections. Throughout the memoir, Britney explores recurring themes: freedom versus control, which is a constant battle between autonomy and imposed restrictions; the cost of fame, how early stardom can lead to exploitation and personal loss; and media misogyny, how young women, especially in pop culture, are judged more harshly than men. As a woman in the industry, she narrates how unfair it is when men aren't being judged as much. Diba, naalala nyo, nung nag-break si Justin Timberlake at Britney Spears, siya yung mas nagmukhang masama. Diba? While si Justin, pas nakuha pa niya yung simpatya ng tao kasi parang alam ng tao is na nag-cheat sa kanya si Britney Spears. Pero dito sa libro na ito, na-highlight din yung fact na kahit naman si Justin Timberlake, may mga babae din noon, nag-cheat din noon. So, ang ginawa ni Britney, she hooked up with Wade Robson as a form of retaliation. Pero, nauna talaga si Justin. Hindi ko naman sinasabi na tama mag-cheat, pero yung naging actions ni Britney is parang dahil nga siguro hindi na niya kinakaya yung palagi na lang may babae si Justin Timberlake and nasasaktan siya. So, that was her own way para maghigante. And next, resilience and healing. Her journey towards self-discovery, empowerment, and reclaiming agency. As of writing, when you look at her socials, you'll sort of get a sense na she's still healing from what happened to her. And honestly, i-judge yun na si Britney as much as you can. Talaga namang masasabi natin na hindi naman talaga madali yung pinagdaanan niya. And I think we should give her grace instead of harshly criticizing her do sa mga posts na nakikita natin yung sumasayaw-sayaw siya. Kasi that's her way to heal eh. At saka siya rin, inamin niya rin mismo na dahil nga she's been performing at a very young age, nag-start siya sa show business ng bata pa lang siya. In a way, sabi niya para siyang nagre-regress. Parang bumabalik siya sa pagkabata niya kasi nawala yung hindi niya na-enjoy yung kanyang childhood talaga as a normal individual. So for that, let's proceed with our favorite quote. And that is, for 13 years, I felt like a shadow of myself. That line captures the heart of the memoir because it is a feeling of losing autonomy while the world watches you perform. So imaginein mo, sikat ka, you have all the money in the world, and yet wala kang control sa finances mo, wala kang control sa mga kung paano mo gusto aalagaan yung katawan mo. As mentioned, in terms of yung kanyang reproductive health, she also had no control over that. Kasi nga, pinilit siyang gumamit ng IUD para hindi siya mabuntis because her family really wanted her to perform na mag-perform para kikita siya ng kikita ng pera, which sila rin yung magkocontrol. And for that, my favorite word is reclamation. It is the process of claiming something back or reasserting a right. So ito yung pinaka-core ng memoir. It's about taking back her name, her story, and her voice. Kasi sa atin, bilang isang normal na tao, tinitake for granted natin yung ability natin to walk down the street, to get into relationships without being scrutinized. And as a celebrity kasi, of course, dahil nga nasa public eye ka, para kang nasa microscope, it's easy for people to take advantage of you, lalong-lalo na if you're someone who generates so much money. And in her case, she really had to reclaim everything that she actually worked hard for. Diba siya naman naghirap nun eh. Pera naman niya yun, pinaghirapan niya yun. And ang sakit lang na kailangan pa niyang ipaglaban na makuha lahat ulit yun or mabawi lahat yun. So for those of you who've read The Woman in Me, alin sa mga nabanggit sa libro ang talagang nagulat kayo tungkol kay Britney? So comment down below. I'd love to know your thoughts. So for me, naalala ko, I just really can't help but remember yung naging interview ni Britney Spears kay Diane Sawyer. Yung talagang naging emotional siya.
Test a lot of people.
It was pretty rough. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Ah, weird. Hello. Oh my goodness. Hello. Ew. Strong Britney. Yeah, it was a weird. Ew. I'm embarrassed. Can we stop?
Napapaisip din ako nun bakit kaya sobrang emotional niya, hindi siya makapagsalita. Yes, heartbreaks are really hard to deal with, pero looking back, I think kaya pala siya sobrang emotional nun kasi na-realize ko, she's not just dealing with the breakup, she's also going through the pain of losing her child. That interview was done after she broke up with Justin Timberlake, and knowing what we know now, talagang kaya pala sobrang emotional niya, hindi niya masabi na she also was dealing with the loss of her child. So, pag tinignan niyo ulit yung video na yon, parang iba na yung dating niya talaga. So what I liked about the book, Britney was very candid in telling her story. When someone lives in the spotlight, nakakalimutan natin na tao rin pala sila, may mga struggles din, at hindi man siguro pareho yung struggles natin sa kanila bilang isang normal na tao. For sure, may mga problems din sila na pwedeng mag-cause ng kanilang breakdown. And sa memoir na ito, nakita ko kung sino si Britney Spears bilang isang anak, kapatid, girlfriend, significant other. At higit sa lahat, bilang isang babae. Hindi lang siya pop star dito, naging tao talaga siya. So reading The Woman in Me made me realize something unexpected. Minsan, blessing din pala yung pagiging ordinaryo. Kasi kahit may fame at fortune ka, hindi ito guaranteed happiness eh. At kung minsan, mas mahalaga pa rin ang freedom kesa sa spotlight. As mere spectators kasi, tip of the iceberg lang naman talaga nakikita natin sa mga pop stars eh. Not the entire picture. Hindi natin nakikita kung ano yung nangyayari behind the scenes. So, this memoir really opened up that side of Britney na hindi natin nakikita. As the saying goes, people are envious of what you have. Pero kung nalaman kaya nila kung ano yung mga hirap na pinagdaanan mo to get what you have, may inggit pa kaya sila sa'yo? Diba? That's a good question to ask. What I didn't like about the book, some readers wish the memoir explored more of her creative process. And that's true. Medyo nakulangan ako dun sa kanyang pag-explain kung paano siya magsulat ng kanta, kasi nagsusulat din siya ng kanta, paano siya nagde-decide kung anong theme ang susundan niya sa kanyang susunod na album, ano yung mga nagiging career decisions niya, at kung ano na yung naging buhay niya outside of the conservatorship drama, rather than concentrating mainly on trauma and control. And also, hindi ko nagustuhan, syempre, napaka-depressing nung story, diba? And some of the information in this book are actually already known. So for the conclusion, for me, I'm gonna give the book 4 out of 5 stars. The Woman in Me is not a perfect memoir, and maybe it was never meant to be perfect. Some readers loved its honesty and vulnerability. Yung pakiramdam na finally si Britney Spears na mismo yung nagsasalita. So she gets to tell her own story sa kanyang sariling panunulat. While others wish more depth, mas marami sanang insights about her music, her creative process, and more reflection beyond the conservatorship. Pero maybe that tension is part of what makes it real. Si Britney Spears, marami siyang struggles na pinagdaanan, and honestly, yung hindi pagiging perpekto nitong memoir na to is what really makes it real. It's messy, it's emotional, but it's human. Not because it's perfectly written, but because it's powerful. And sometimes, reclaiming your voice is more important than perfect storytelling. At 1,300 pesos, The Woman in Me might feel pricey, but every peso goes into a hardcover memoir that's beautifully made, packed with candid stories, exclusive photos, and Britney's own words. Raw, unfiltered, and full of emotion, it's not just a book, but a piece of pop culture history. Honestly, it's worth every penny for anyone who's an avid Britney Spears fan and wants to understand the real story behind the headlines. So for the final thoughts, ang sarap pala magbasa dahil ito'y nagbibigay inspirasyon. Kahit messy at challenging ang buhay, may kwento ng pagbawi, resilience, at reclaiming one's voice. Ang sarap pala magbasa dahil ito'y nagbibigay ng empathy. Natututo kang intindihin na kahit ang mga taong perfect sa panlabas ay may pinagdadaanan din. At ang sarap pala magbasa dahil parang nakakapasok ka sa isip at buhay ng ibang tao. Sa kaso ni Britney Spears, ramdam mo ang pressure, ang struggles, pati na rin ang mga personal victories niya na hindi laging nakikita ng publiko. And that concludes my second book review for Women's Month. Sana po nagustuhan niyo itong napaka-special feature ko dedicated to one of the most admired women in the entertainment industry. Walang iba kundi si Britney Spears. Sana po natuto kayo sa story niya. Sana po magsilbing aral din po sa inyo yung lahat ng mga pinagdaanan ni Britney Spears, to not give up and to always fight for yourself and find your voice. No matter what happens, walang ibang pwedeng tumulong sa'yo kundi ikaw. And hopefully, katulad niya, hindi rin kayo mag-give up sa mga pagsubok ng buhay. So for that, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you won't miss out on my latest book review. And if you happen to know friends or even family members who love to read books, invite them to watch my show as well. For those of you listening on Spotify, just search for my show Ang Sarap Pala Magbasa, hit the follow button, and join me in building a community of bookworms. Ako nga pala ulit si Tessa Saavedra. Samahan niyo ako ulit sa susunod dito lang sa Isang Pahina, Isang Kwento, Isang Aral. Ang sarap pala magbasa. Shut up.